record to the cloud. Yep. Okay, cool. But before we get started, do you mind just telling me a little bit about yourself? Like what you do at Boston Prep, how long you've been there?
Yeah, sure. So this is my second year at Boston Prep, and my 13th year in schools in the area. I worked for 11 years at a school in Dorchester, just slightly north. At that school, I had a similar role where I was doing full-time teaching and also ELA department chair for about 6 years at that previous school. And so then when I came to Boston Prep, I started as the 12th grade ELA teacher, and then last year moved into the department chair role, and also remained on as the 12th grade ELA teacher.
What's that split look like?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Oh yeah, what does that split look like between department chair and do you have one class or do you have multiple classes?
Yeah, it's kind of two full-time jobs. So I teach all of the seniors. I teach 70 seniors. So I have 3 sections of kids. And then the ELA department chair role is really around, like planning the scope and sequence for our department meeting and our adult professional learning, and then coaching a portion of the ELA department. I would love to coach all of the people in the department, but I am only one person, so I can't. We have 11 folk in the department, so I have one other person who helps me with the coaching. So it's a lot.
It sounds like a lot. And before we get started, my internet's been a little iffy. So if I freeze or anything, just raise your hand. I have a couple of different options, so I can sign on to
Okay, you're back now. You were a little laggy for a minute there, but you're back on track now.
Okay, cool. So the first couple of questions are ones we're asking everyone, and we're also surveying people on, with the intent of trying to capture a baseline bit of right now. So would love to hear a little bit about how, to what degree do you feel completely safe and comfortable to be your true self at Boston Prep and bring all aspects of your identity? So that could mean race, ethnicity, gender, sexual identity, nationality, first language, all aspects to work.
I think if we're talking about identity in the buckets that you listed, I would say I feel completely safe to be my full self. And I would just name, particularly in my gender, I think I've experienced in prior places challenges around being a woman and a high-performing woman in the workplace around men. And I do not feel that at Boston Prep at all. So the gender piece is the piece for me that really sticks out as I feel very comfortable in that space.
Got it. And you mentioned or kind of distinguished those aspects of identity I mentioned. Are there other aspects of identity that you don't, or that you think about differently even?
I guess I also see identity as my core values and beliefs. And I think I feel seen and understood in some of my core values and beliefs. When I say that, I mean primarily about education and what it means to teach and learn. But I often feel out of place at Boston Prep with those beliefs because they're very not charter school-y. And I, last year as just in the classroom, I felt very ooh, the way I'm doing things is very much not the Boston Prep way. And I feel very sturdy in my conviction around opting out of some of the things that Boston Prep had traditionally done, and felt acknowledged by leadership that the way I was thinking about things they agreed with.